Hi, this is Marianne Schultz, and this is a video review of the Apple smart cover for the iPad 2. So the iPad 2 was just released a couple days ago. I stood in line to get mine, and at the same time picked up one of the smart covers that Apple had in stock in time for the release. The smart cover comes in 10 colors, 5 polyurethane colors at $39 each, and 5 in leather at $69 each. I'd actually originally intended to get a polyurethane version of the cover because of a more reasonable price, but I talked to an Apple staff person when I was at the store and asked him about the material, and he did say that it was a bit like the first generation iPad case that Apple had made, and I really didn't like that case. I felt that it picked up dirt really easily, and I didn't want another case like that. So I opted for a black leather one, which is what you see here, even though it was more expensive. Jumping right into how the smart cover works, it attaches to the iPad using magnets only. So if you're looking to get this for your first generation iPad, will not work because that iPad does not have the magnets here to work with the case. It looks like there's a spine here on the iPad to which the case attaches, but that's actually part of the case. So let me just pull this right off here. Pulls right off. So you see there, nothing on the iPad. And then when I bring the case close, it snaps right onto it, right in the right place. So very handy. And of course, the key neat feature with the smart cover is that it is held closed with magnets here as well. And so that when you open the iPad senses it, or when you open the cover, I should say, the iPad senses it and it turns it on. So you don't need to worry about doing the slide to unlock thing when you open your iPad with the smart cover. When you close it, turns the iPad off, or at least puts it to sleep as well. So very neat Apple feature there with the smart cover. Of course, as you can see, it only covers the front of the iPad, so it's only giving the screen some protection. In terms of thickness, it's fairly stiff. See here, you can't really, doesn't really bend easily. So I would say that the screen does have some protection there, impact protection. Not a lot, but at least some to prevent it from getting cracked or anything from minor knocks in your bag or while you're holding it or something along those lines. When it comes to using it, of course it opens flat, so if you're sitting down, you can just rest it right on a table. It does fold flat against when you're holding it in your hand, but here's one thing that I've encountered that I don't really like, that I thought and wish would be different. It doesn't really stick, so the magnets don't really hold it against the back of the iPad. So it does a little bit, so if you pull it, and you can see that it is sticking a little bit. Let me see if I can get the right angle here. There. That it's sticking to the iPad a little bit, but takes just very little pressure to knock it off so that the magnets don't hold on this side. Of course, you can also fold the cover in half if you want, and that will kind of get it out of the way, but then it flops right open. So not a big deal, but something that stands out to me. I had been, just for whatever reason, hoping that it would stay by itself against the back of the iPad using magnets as well, but it doesn't. In terms of other functionality for the case, of course, you can do other things with it. It does act as a stand, so you can just roll it up, essentially, which is pretty neat. And then pop it under, and there you go. Oops, let me make sure that's flat. So it can act as a typing stand while it's on a table in front of you. Very handy. And then if you want to watch a movie, you just roll it up onto the side, and it stays there just like that. So fairly sturdy, not going anywhere that way as well. So that's overall how the smart cover works in a nutshell. Pros and cons. So pros, I really like the automatic on and off. I think that's a really neat Apple touch. It's a very cute feature. Not essential, of course. It doesn't really save you a whole heck of a lot of time in real life. It doesn't take that long to slide to unlock and whatnot, but still very handy if you're just looking to get to an email really quick, or you're in the middle of something, you just close it. You don't want to worry about, or you don't need to worry about putting your iPad to sleep for just a few minutes, that sort of thing, because the case will do it for you. So that is very handy. I do think it complements the iPad 2 perfectly. So fits perfect. It looking here on the back, you can see a little bit of hangover, just a tiny bit on all the edges, and all of that is absolutely perfect. Apple, of course, has measured or knows the dimensions of the iPad well enough to design its own case for it perfectly, and that does show through. It's a very minimal design, of course, as you can see, but still very stylish and decent functionality overall. Cons, of course, it's not, even though it's an Apple product and I love Apple products, it's not perfect. It's very expensive for what you get, in my opinion. So again, I have the black leather one here, which costs $69. I do think that was a bit much. I did want black. They don't offer black in the polyurethane, and as I mentioned, the Apple staff person told me that it did feel a lot like the original iPad case Apple had made, and I didn't want that kind of material that would pick up a lot of dust and whatnot. The leather here doesn't do that. It's fairly smooth. It feels pretty nice. Not as thick as I thought it was going to be, but you know, that's just to make the case work as it should, to fold up and whatnot fairly easily without being too cumbersome or too hard to handle in that sense. Of course, it doesn't protect. Next con, it doesn't protect the back of the iPad. I do plan to get a skin or something to do that, so I don't feel bad about putting it on a table or something and then worrying about the logo or anything else getting scratched. And then the last con, as I mentioned, as I was showing you guys the cover folded along the back of the iPad, I do wish it stuck there on its own a little better. I wish that the magnets were, there's more magnets on the back or something to make it stick so it would hold there flat on the back of the iPad all by itself. But be that as it may, overall, I think that the smart cover is a good case, I should say a good cover, for easy, quick access to your iPad. It does offer some basic screen protection here. However, if you're looking for more protection, you'll need to look elsewhere, or at least supplement this with a sleeve of some type if you want to put your iPad in a bag with other books or something like that. Get a neoprene sleeve, which is actually what I plan to do, to add some additional protection to the iPad. So that's it. A very quick look at the smart cover for the Apple iPad 2. If you have any questions, feel free to let me know at info@macgirl.net, and thanks for watching.